These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they're home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes. Why go? There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes. The bills need paying, so I must go.
These rocky shores, where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
I think to myself, where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's mighty road. My tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores, where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include MP Bill Matthews was in Burgeo this past week. The date has been set for Burgeo's second Come Home year. The Burgeo Diversification Development Board held a workshop. The Innovators hosted a Halloween party for the disabled. These stories plus community events, BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
Go and sit over there so that you can see better.
You know, Custom Carpet is Busy's favorite shop because they got tons of colors of cushion floor and carpet to match their paint. Sure, they'll even help you to pick out the wallpaper and borders to match your paint and flooring. If somebody wants to make their own talk of the town, they should go to Custom Carpet because, old man, they got the goods to do it with and they're more than happy to help. Know something? Once again, old Bessie is right. Just wish she'd go and get some grub once in a while.
Don't wear costumes that are too long. You could trip up in it. Don't eat your treats until a grown-up has checked them.
"188 ladies from our community came to the community center on Thursday night to participate in a community shower held for Harriet Strickland. The ladies in our community had the Lions Center blocked on Thursday night. I spoke with Lioness President Doris Pink about the community shower held for Harriet. Where did the idea for this community shower come from?
Well, I heard it from Jane Strickland, Lioness Jane Strickland. She mentioned to me that someone she knew had one in Isla Mort. we were looking at ways to fundraise for Harriet and thought it would be a good idea.
Okay, so how many ladies are here tonight?
177, 178. Make that 179, okay?
Okay, so are the Lioness pleased with the turnout?
Marvelous. Really, yeah, as good as we could have expected. Actually, if we had any more, we wouldn't know what to do with them anyway.
Okay, so what, I understand that there are a couple of organizations involved in the planning of this. What organizations are they?
The Lioness, of course, as you already know, and the LOBA, Vestry, and ACW. And they're all organizations that Harriet is a part of, an active member of. And by the way, when I was mentioning that there's 176 people here, but loads more have sent their cards and their contributions.
Okay, so there's quite a supply of food here as well. Where did all the food come from?
Oh, everybody who came to the shower brought their own food. They don't trust us to feed them, so they're bring their own.
Harriet was unable to attend the shower, but her daughter Sharon was there. Sharon, what do you think of the turnout here tonight?
Dave, I can't believe it. It's wonderful. My mother will be so proud. It's too bad she can't be with us. She's actually not feeling too well, but she's coming along fine, and hopefully we'll have better news tomorrow. I'd like to thank everybody in the community for their love and support from myself, my family, and my mother. It's going to be a wonderful night, I think.
Okay, so does your mom know yet when she has to go to Ontario?
Yes, she's scheduled to go on November the 6th. She has to be in Ottawa at 2:30 in Ottawa Hospital, and they're going to be leaving on the 5th. Dr. Handcaller will be escorting her, which I would like to thank her so much too. It's been wonderful to have people supporting us like they have.
The Strickland family would like to thank the organizations that hosted the shower for Harriet. MP for Burin St. George's, Bill Matthews, was in Burgeo for meetings on Wednesday. I had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Matthews following his meeting with the Burgeo Town Council. Matthews, what's the nature of your visit to Burgeo today?
Well, I've met with two groups today. First, I met with the union local executive to talk about the fish plant and the efforts to reactivate the plant, and particularly the need to get a supply of fish, a quota. And I guess, as you know, and the people of Burgeo know, we're working to try and access allocation of Argentine. And it so happens tomorrow I'll be meeting with the Federal Fisheries Minister, David Anderson, in Ottawa, and the timing is good really, because I'm fully up to speed now on what's on the go with reactivation here, and I'll be directly asking Mr. Anderson to consider a quota of Argentine for Burgeo. So that's one thing, and then I met with the Burgeo Town Council this morning to go through a whole range of issues with them.
Okay, so how does it look with respect to getting this species, Argentine, for the fish plant?
Well, I really don't know. You know, so far the signs and the indications have been encouraging, but I doubt very much, say, if it's been discussed at the ministerial level with Mr. Anderson. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. So, you know, I know bureaucrats and officials have been involved in this, but as of tomorrow, when I meet with him, then he will directly know the need that Burgeo has, and I will request and ask him to seriously consider a quota of Argentine of a minimum of 5,000 tons for Burgeo. If there's more, hopefully we get that, but that's what I'm going to ask him for tomorrow.
Okay, so what were some of the concerns that the town council brought forth at their meeting?
Well, certainly the plant certainly highlights the concerns on the minds of the mayor and the councillors, and you know, we had a discussion about that. And then, of course, you know, what's going to happen after next May with the tags deadline, and the mayor and the council have made some suggestions to me that they feel Burgeo should be compensated in some way for the loss of the trawler fleet and the work that brought here, which was an interesting concept. First time I've heard of that, you know, that kind of a suggestion. So I will be putting that forward to Mr. Harrigan, who's doing a post-tags review, to make sure he's aware of that. And then we talked about infrastructure money and the new school and recreation center, and perhaps some combination or, you know, I guess consolidated sort of approach to addressing the education and recreation needs of the town. And on it went, from tourism to transportation, you know, to the fishery. So it was a wide-ranging discussion with the council, but I found it very informative, because the more I sit down with town councils, such as the town council of Burgeo, then the more informed I am, and the more effective it will make me at my job, because I know where they want to go, and I want to work with them to get there.
Okay, I know you're on a very tight schedule here this morning. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Not really. It's been a real pleasure to be here again, and you know, these meetings were at my initiative. You know, I wasn't invited here to do this. I came in here, and I arranged to meet with those groups today at my call, and I want to do that on a fairly regular basis, and I look forward to being back again before too long. Actually, I'll be here at the end of the month to attend the Fireman's Ball.
Okay, hopefully at that time we'll get a chance to sit down and have a further conversation.
Sure, it's my pleasure, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Burgeo Innovators held a Halloween party for the developmentally delayed individuals in our community at Sandbanks Provincial Park on Monday of this past week. Linda, how many years have the Innovators been hosting Halloween parties for the disabled in Burgeo?
Well, this is our third year. The first year we had it down to United Hall, and the second year we had it up here at the Sandbanks, and this is our third one.
Okay, so what other activities do the Innovators host for the disabled?
We have dances probably once a month or every so often, not down to the Ankin Hall or the United Hall, whatever hall we can get.
Okay, you have Christmas parties for them as well, I understand?
Yes, we had a Christmas party, and we have an Easter party, and a Halloween party, and we usually have a closing party in the spring for them.
Okay, so what other activities are the Innovators involved in?
Well, right now, we have our Halloween party net for the developmentally delayed, and we're going to go on with our food bank, which will be starting next week. The boxes and posters net will be put up in Foodland and Midtown, and hopefully this year that the Salvation Army will be able to help us this year with our Christmas dinners. We give away a Christmas dinner, and maybe, hopefully, that we'll probably have a little miss and a little master, hopefully, if we get enough people. And during the Easters, and that we go up to the hospital and that, and bring up our Easter. We have a little live rabbit and that. We bring up Easter basket, and we're trying to get some ideas on, set a few goals and that, to do something different for the community too.
Okay, how many members do you have in the Innovators?
Well, we had 11. And now that there's some people gone away, and we only have 6, and we're hopefully, if anybody out there is not doing nothing and would like to join in our committee, be more than welcome to come, and we'll be putting it on BBS to let them know what time our meetings are, and hopefully that we'll get some more members to do a few fundraisers, and we want to do something for the community and get some good ideas around.
Okay, well, we'd certainly like to congratulate you on this party. It seems like everyone's having a good time, and we'd like to thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, folks, it's official. 1998 will be the year for Burgeo's second Come Home year. Representatives from the Sand and Sea Committee met with the Town Council on Thursday night to discuss plans for the event. Mark your calendars now. July 31st through August 9th will be Come Home year in 1998 here in Burgeo. Invitations for the Come Home year are currently being prepared, and you will be notified when they are available at the town office to pick up and send to friends and relatives. You will be notified on this channel as soon as they are available. The next Sand and Sea Come Home year committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, October 29th, 8 p.m. at the Calder Healthcare Center Conference Room. New members are welcome. The committee also hopes to plan events such as Hunt's Island Day and Red Island Day. They're seeking residents of those communities to assist with the planning of those events. Also, if you have any ideas for the Come Home year, please call Paulette at 886-2830, Florence at 886-2456, or Dave at 886-2243. In addition to the Come Home year, 1998 also marks the 10th anniversary of programming here at BBS. We'll be celebrating by offering programs which will look back over the past 10 years. As well, we will be looking back at the past 10 years of some of our local programs, such as This Week in Review and The Bandwagon. Those programs will be airing throughout the Come Home year. It's sure to be a fun-filled event. 7 students from A.J. Matthews School, 1 student from each grade, got to go for a ride on the fire truck this past week. Each year, as part of their Fire Prevention Week activities, the Burgeo volunteer firefighters enter the names of all the students at A.J. Matthews School into draws. 1 student from each grade gets to go for a ride around town in the volunteer firefighters' fire truck. This past week, Fireman Cal Hare, along with Fire Chief Glenn Ham, took some of those students for their ride. Stay with us for more of This Week in Review coming up in just a moment.
Use a flashlight to help you see where you're going.
Moles, I'd like to have some self-stick floor tile to go down in my basement.
Do you think they got any up to custom carpet?
Moles, don't you talk so loose with all hundreds of different colors of carpet and cushion floor they got to choose from up there. You know they can't self-stick tile.
We went up to see. Good gracious. They got some of the prettiest tiles I ever set me two eyes on. Black marble, white with burgundy diamonds, white with green diamonds. That's just to mention a few. And on top, guess what? They got wallpaper and borders to match too.
Don't go trick-or-treating by yourself. Go with a friend or an adult. If your custom is start with reflectors on your arm so you can be seen by cars.
Work got underway on Monday to install the water lines to Sandbanks Provincial Park. Work on the water line to Sandbanks Provincial Park should be completed by the end of this week. When Sandbanks Provincial Park opens for the next camping season, the Comfort Station dumping station should be completely operational, giving tourists that choose to visit our park all the conveniences of home. On Wednesday of this past week, students at A.J. Matthews School got to participate in Science and Technology Olympics that were held at the school. When we visited the school in the afternoon, the primary students were having their Olympics. One of the events in the Olympics was to make a boat out of a 1-foot square piece of tin foil, and then they went to see whose boat could hold the most pennies.
Look at this guy.
If you push your pennies in there to go on. Come here, I'll show you what to do. Come here.
I got a motorboat. Look. Look at my boat. Justin. Teacher, motorboat. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't count. 1, 2, 3.
Oops, stop. How many?
152.
Oh, 152.
Some other students were seeing who could make the tallest tower using 2 sheets of construction paper and Scotch tape.
116. Mine is 2. Yours can't stand. Hey, mine can't stand. I'm taking mine out. You can't stand up. Remember, you only got 2 pieces of paper. Stand up, okay? I don't know if I...
Some of the other students were seeing who could make the longest paper snake using a single sheet of white paper and a pair of scissors.
I'm only on TV. I saw TV last night. And scared me right now. I was getting scared.
all of our work. So I think this is a good thing. We have a variety and so bring that to sell. So they'll take more themselves.
Are you done, Zachary?
No. We didn't get our own.
Oh, when you cut it, it broke, so this is the real thing, so this is the piece that we have to measure. Hang on to that.
Benoit, this is Science and Technology Week here at A.J. Matthews School, and I understand they're doing something a little bit different today. Can you tell us a bit about the Science and Technology Olympics?
Okay. Yes, basically every year we celebrate Science and Technology Week. As you're aware, this is not only a school activity, this is a provincial and nationwide activity where children participate in numerous science activities just to promote an awareness of science and technology in our lives. This year, in other past years, we've had science challenges in which all the students in the school did one activity, and we had a first, second, and third place prize for it. But this year we decided to go with the Science Olympics, in which case children get an opportunity to do a variety of science activities as opposed to just one activity. And it gives them that opportunity to experience the joy of getting involved in science. This morning our elementary students were involved in 5 different activities, and they were divided into 11 groups. And the primary students, as you're aware, are doing the same thing this afternoon. And they had an awful lot of fun. There were competitions within each group of students, and there were first, second place, third place winners. But no prizes are issued for this. This is just strictly for fun and to promote awareness of science and technology in our lives.
8 resource people from different government agencies participated in a workshop for the Burgeo Diversification Development Board on Thursday. The workshop got started at 11 a.m. on Thursday morning. In addition to the Burgeo Diversification and Development Board, there were 8 representatives from various government agencies, as well as 10 students from the Community Economic Development course at College of the North Atlantic. Early in the workshop, the 8 resource people that were there introduced themselves and told a bit about the agency which they were representing.
Because the COA is into economic development, it has a number of different things that it does. The main thing that the COA is known for in Newfoundland, I guess, is funding business. So we do have a program that we use to assist small and medium-sized businesses either establish or modernize, upgrade, expand, do marketing, that type of thing.
We have a particular emphasis in our mandate for rural Newfoundland. Our department is presently restructuring itself, so we'll have 2 economic development officers per zone. Right now I'm the only one covering 2 zones, so that should certainly make my job a lot easier, and it will help rural communities get more support. We have 2 functions. One function is a small business function where we lend money to strategic initiatives. One time we lent money to a lot of different sectors. Right now we're into strategic initiatives. We're not doing wholesale, we're not doing retail. We're into a strategic initiative is defined as something that adds new wealth to the province or to the community. And new wealth usually comes from an export market or an import replacement. And we're sort of holding the line on that. So if you want to set up another convenience store in Burgeo or a wholesale manufacturer, if it's manufacturing, we'll consider it. So strategic initiative is our focus. Creating new wealth in the province is our goal.
Mandate is open to all sectors, okay? We offer a variety of services through our corporation. We are operated by a local board. Anne from Burgeo is represented on our board, and we cover a fairly large area. And each of the different parts of our area, we have board representation. We offer term loans up to $75,000, which we have flexible terms with that. There's no age limit other than if you're under 19, you need a co-signature.
One of the things that we're looking at is trying to get people into jobs and to save money for the EI account or the employment insurance account. It's the account that we all pay into, and I guess that people receive the employment insurance benefits from it. There were a number of principles that came out of that. Flexibility is certainly the order of the day. Many times our office has used a lot of flexibility. Sometimes we're probably going a little outside some guidelines, but certainly that's the order of the day now, and it's written into our into the new act that was passed. Flexibility. The decisions are made locally, so if you have an idea that you want to talk to us about funding, your decision won't be made in Ottawa for the most part. The decisions are made locally.
Colleges of the North Atlantic then drew together under one roof, so to speak, the 18 campuses throughout Newfoundland and Labrador. So right now, in fact, it's one of the largest post-secondary institutions in Atlantic Canada. It offers 70 full-time programs, 300 part-time programs, has 12,000 students, 1,100 faculty and staff. I know the numbers amaze me sometimes because we're so used to kind of thinking of ourselves as just one campus isolated. And in fact, we produce 3,000 graduates per year.
We do have some programs besides assessment and referral services that might be of interest to anyone attempting to start a business or expand a business they already have. One of the more appealing things about NLO, I guess, is the Business Consultants Fund, which will help anyone that needs assistance or professional services, so someone who needs a business plan or a marketing plan or anything related to, it could be technology or whatever, but anything related to expanding or starting a business. In the fund, we would pay 75%, first $500. Of course, the client would have to pay 25%. After that, we pay the sort of reverse. So that fund is a subsidy. It's not, or 75% subsidy. You don't have to pay it back.
Well, the Long Range Regional Economic Development Board is the, I guess, the zonal board for Zone 9. As if you heard a few of the speakers mention about the zones, there's 20 zones in the province. Our zone takes in this area, Stephenville, Bay St. George area, and Bay St. George South. It's quite a large area, about 50 communities, about 28,000 people. So it's a fairly sizable area to cover. Our board consists of 17 volunteers, community people. Alistair Han is representative here in Burgeo on our board, and also Jim Marsden and Ramia is representing this area as well. So this area has 2 representatives on our board. We've also just recently formed a youth council, and Jody Sims here at Burgeo is on our youth council. So that's the Burgeo connection to our board. As most of you know, our board has worked quite closely with the Burgeo IS committee in helping put together the strategic plan for the town. And that's the type of things that our board can, I guess, support communities to help as be a resource to people like Sam and to the community groups to try to move things forward.
Components for this region that I feel that we need to work with. Sightseeing and touring market. The sightseeing and touring market into this region is pretty much on tap up till now. We've seen a fair number, we've seen threefold increase in the last 2 or 3 years, I think, to Burgeo, essentially by resident traffic. So we're still not tapping into really any of the non-resident. I think that, as we touched on earlier, Sandbanks Park is certainly one of the strengths. Nature viewing, the last time I was down, I talked extensively about nature viewing, and as it is one of the niche products that was identified in product market match study. I think the novelty, the charm of the communities, Ramia and Burgeo, the old world experience, if we'll call it.
During the afternoon, 2 separate roundtable discussions were held. The local people at one and the agency people at another. Both groups had to identify 3 weaknesses as well as opportunities and priorities that Burgeo had. When the results from these 2 separate roundtables were presented, they were surprisingly similar. Sam Organ, Development Officer, said that this tells the board that they are on track. This group of professionals from other areas came up with the same results as our local people. Our schools are involved in the Communities in Schools program. 2 individuals from Burgeo have been hired through this program. I spoke with the workers and their coordinator about the Communities in Schools program. I'm speaking with Tracy Snow, Florence Courtney, and Tim Sims from the Community in Schools program. Tracy, first of all, can you tell us what the role of the Community in Schools program is?
Sure can. But what I'd like to do first is just to explain to you a little bit about the history of Communities in Schools and how it came to be here in Newfoundland, I guess. Communities in Schools is a national organization based out of Ottawa and has been in operation there since 1990. It started actually originally in the United States in 1977, so it's a huge organization in the United States and is in many of the states and in many of the schools that are operating in the states. In Canada, it was primarily, it's been operating primarily for the last 5 years in Ontario, so in the Toronto, metropolitan Toronto area. And out of a need, I think, for the development of the Communities in Schools model to grow to other parts of Canada, and a need from Atlantic Canada in particular, they've decided to start moving the Communities in Schools concept out to communities within Atlantic Canada. And Stephenville was asked to take part in a pilot project last year at specifically St. Stephen's High School. What had happened was the Communities in Schools national organization partnered with the Port-au-Port Community Education Initiative in Stephenville, and they said, okay, well, what we'll do for this year is we'll start it off at St. Stephen's High School. So they hired me as coordinator. I worked at St. Stephen's High School last year. I worked very closely with parents and administration and teachers on developing the Communities in Schools model, which is actually exactly what its name implies. Communities in Schools is all about reaching out into the community and bringing community people into the school on behalf of children, so that we surround children with the people who they need the most to get through some of their more difficult challenges. Because as we know, I mean, teachers are being asked to be social workers, probation officers, parents, brothers, sisters to these children, and really, I mean, their role is to be educators in the classroom, and they need to be left to doing that, and not to all of these other things that the children are coming into school with so much baggage now. And so Communities in Schools is in operation to reach out into the community, to bring those people in. Kids are in school from 8:30 to 2:30 every day. It seems only logical that the community resources that are available come into the school so that kids have easy access to them. I mean, I think we all know as adults how difficult it is sometimes to get help for some of the problems that we are encountering. And so you can only imagine how difficult that would be for young children. So it's important for us to make sure that they don't have to go out looking, that at the school the resources are available to them. So that includes social workers, that includes the RCMP, parents, and as I've alluded to earlier, parental involvement or increasing parental involvement at the high school level was one of the key things that I was involved with last year. And so I won't get into all of that, but because there's all kinds of interesting things that these guys are doing here in Burgeo, but certainly that was one of the major components of Communities in Schools last year. So the role of CIS is to involve the community so that kids don't feel so alone when they're going through some of their more difficult challenges.
Okay, Florence, what are some of the things that are being carried out here in Burgeo?
Well, we've only been here for about 3 weeks, going on our 4th week, so we're starting off slow, but we do have a homework haven, and it's going to be Sunday nights, Tuesday nights, 6:30 to 9:30. The kids can utilize the library as a resource to do assignments and whatever. They also have access to a computer so they can do up their assignments. So they've got extra 3 hours 2 nights a week to get some extra stuff done that they might get a little bit behind on during, in the school itself. We've got the library open in the afternoons and the computer lab. We're working on getting black and white photography started in the school again. That'll be open to students as well as adults who like to, participate. What else are we doing?
You're doing all kinds of good things.
Yeah, a lot of little things, but basically anything that needs to be done in the school, we're kind of here to fill that void as such, like as Tracy explained, that the teachers are busy teaching and the guidance counselor is busy doing what he does and whatever. So we're kind of the person that's going to do the legwork for them to bring the resources into the school, because the kids are not going to go out and get it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can come down here and say, listen, I'm doing a project and maybe it's something to do with, say, in the social services line of work or something, I wonder if I could get an interview or something like that. We're there to help the kids get that interview or to just go with them to talk, just kind of, we're like a go-between or an in-between type of person.
And that's actually exactly what the Youth Corps is supposed to be doing. They act as mediators between the school and the community so that they facilitate that relationship building with people out in the community and teachers and staff in the school as well as the kids. So that's really what their role is as mediator or as facilitator, to encourage people to come into the school and work for kids and work with the teachers and the staff here at the school. Yeah. So it's right on.
So Tim, how long will you and Florence be involved in activities at the schools here in Virginia?
Well, the program itself lasts for 32 weeks, which will take us to the end of May. So we'll basically be here for the full school year.
Okay, Tracy, I understand that Florence and Tim are part of a larger Youth Services Canada Youth Corps. What other communities are involved in this program?
Okay, so Tim and Florence actually started with another 7 students who were hired by Youth Service Canada through HRDC, and they started on the 24th of September, as Tim mentioned earlier, and they'll be working for 32 weeks. This was a proposal that was put forth by Communities and Schools and the Port-au-Port Community Education Initiative to move the Communities and Schools model that was developed last year at St. Stephen's High School to other schools throughout School District 4. We have 3 students working in Port aux Basques at St. James Junior High School. We have one who I just was over there to see in Ramia, Sherry Lee Vallis at the all-grade school. And we have 3 in Stephenville who work out of Stephenville Integrated, but who are working with St. Stephen's High School on sort of building on the momentum that was created there last year, as well as working with Bishop O'Reilly High School as well. So they service 3 schools in the Stephenville area. They're working on a program called Fast Track to Entrepreneurship. That's their focus for this year. That was one of the programs that came out of the Center for Entrepreneurship, Education and Development out of Halifax, which was actually developed for the national organization, Communities and Schools. And that is an enterprise program for young people between the ages of 13 to 18, where they can access loans of up to $1,000 to start their own small business. Now that's all being piloted this year in Stephenville, and but our hope is that if it's successful, that we will move it out to the other sites that are participating as Communities and School sites right now. So that's a very exciting component of what's going on, as well as the Youth Corps. So it's a very exciting year for me and for the whole Communities and Schools organization, because we have these wonderful 9 people who have in 3 weeks done more than I could have possibly imagined, and they're really fulfilling some of the vision of the whole organization by being a part of these individual schools and contributing so much to these individual schools. So it's a very exciting, and I'm really pleased to be here, especially in Burgeo today. But so that's what it's all about.
Okay. So Florence, are you only involved with the school-age children? I notice you're working out of the adult drop-in center. So are you involved with the adults as well?
Well, like you say, it makes our situation a little bit unique, as in where we're working. We're working in collaboration with the AB. How we look at it, yes, we're here for the students, but we're also here for those students if they need us in any way, shape, or form. We're there to help them as well, right?
Okay. So Tim, what are the team's plans for the future here in Virgil?
Well, we're constantly trying to assist the needs of Virgil schools. What we'll be doing, we're not sure yet, but things are always coming up, and we're always working on it to better school and just to make things better.
Exactly, and to what Tim said, it's important for Tim and Florence, as well as other teams, to work very closely with staff and teachers and students themselves, as well as parents, on identifying what the needs of the school are. I mean, who best to recognize what needs to be done in the school other than those people who are most active in the school. So it's certainly not up to Florence and Tim to decide what sorts of programs should be here, but up to those people who are involved in the school on a daily basis. So they'll be working quite closely with those people on seeing what needs to be done here at the school, and certainly I can't identify that, and nobody can. It's sort of a collaborative effort, so everyone gets together and sits around a table and starts talking about, okay, we have these resources, how can we better utilize them in the school to address some of the needs that we have here. So it's going to be an interesting year for these guys, and certainly they're already very busy, so And I encourage anyone out there who'd like to be involved with some of the things that Florence and Tim have set up to come down to the school and talk to them about some of the things that they're doing. I mean, you could always use more help, and I'm sure even with the programs that they already have set up here, the Homework Haven and working with the Adult Learning Center and those types of things, it's very important that we get the extra help from outside because they can't do it alone. Just like teachers can't do it alone, Florence and Tim can't do it alone either. So I challenge everyone in the community to come out and be a part of this very exciting new initiative that's going on here.
Okay, is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
Just to add on to what Tracy said, as in people can come out and help us. Maybe they can also help themselves by doing something that's very rewarding, as in helping a student better themselves in some way. You know?
And that's really what it's all about. It's about helping kids. And so if you're at all interested in helping kids, then this is definitely an organization whose focus is just that, helping kids to help themselves is our motto, and that's actually what our motto is. So so if you'd like to, I'd encourage all of you to lend your support to these two, because they've been doing some excellent work already, and I'm sure and that's only 3 weeks, so I can only imagine what they'll accomplish in 9 months. So.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank the three of you for taking time to speak with us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
We would like to remind viewers of our News Tip of the Month award. We are offering $10 for the best news tip of the month. All monthly winners will then be entered for the News Tip of the Year award, worth $100. So if you see something unusual or that you find interesting and think might be of interest to others, please give me a call. If you're the first person to contact us about a story that we're not already aware of, and we use your news tip on the air, you will qualify for the News Tip of the Month award. It's just that easy. Stay with us for community events, Off the Rack, and the BBS Playbill. All that after this.
Stop! Come back! Don't just cross across the street. You all day sit on one side and then cross over.
T'other night, Bessie got up in her sleep, tripped long over the dog, and whop, put her right through the wall. Don't worry, Bessie, I said, long as you didn't hurt your we can fix the wall, 'cause Custom Carpet got a full line of drywall knives, sandpaper, plastering large buckets and small buckets. They also got plaster tape at prices that just can't be beat. Bessie, good job the wall wouldn't break all there.
Let's go in that house. No. Don't go into strangers' houses or into houses that are not lit up.
Off the Rack. This week as we scan our tape racks, we're going to take you back to Burgio's first Come Home year and a very special gift. Here's a look back now to July of 1998 and Trifina from Boot Cove.
You imagine all the poor old rabbits that run around down staring naked and made court view.
I came all the way from Boot Cove. Anybody know where Boot Cove is?
That'd be only Sneaker Inlet.
No, it's right at the end of Cove Point. Anyway, my name is Trifina from Boot Cove.
That's Trifina from Boot Cove.
And I had to walk all the way here just for Come Home year, and my feet are killing me. I'm gonna be a song down in the sky.
What are you gonna sing?
It's a falling star.
Well, Kids and Falling Star. Well, on a night like this.
You know, the crowd was very small for country music show. But he faced the curtain call, just like it was years ago. Then a lady grabbed me arm, and I staggered down the hall.
Good evening and welcome to the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Rhonda Green. The LOPI TV bingo held on Wednesday was won by Francis Green. Congratulations, Francis. The Burnett's will be holding a TV bingo on Wednesday, October 29th at 7 p.m. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and are available from any Burnett's member. Do you make crafts to sell? Do you have items that you no longer need and would like to sell? There are still tables available for the Burnett's Flea Market, which is scheduled for November 29th. To book a table, please call Laura at 886-2974 or Debbie at 886-2839. The Brightside Youth Committee will be collecting recyclable goods tomorrow, Monday, beginning at 6 p.m. If you wish to drop off items, you can do so at the RCMP building at that time. Also, if you would like your name added to the collection list, please call Ada at 886-3353. Are you interested in learning to knit, sew, crochet, quilt, or do other crafts? For $1 or $2, you can learn these things and more. Come along to our meeting tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. at the Held Up Resource Center, Craft Corner, located at the art school in room 22. If you would like more information, please call Queenie at 886-2009, Maisie at 886-2615, or Barb at 886-2457, or come to the meeting tomorrow evening. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we will be happy to advertise it for you. You can contact the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's program. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a spooky Halloween special on Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday at 7 p.m. by playing Burnett's TV Bingo. Bingo will be followed by a service from Faith United Church. On Thursday at 7 p.m. we will have the Pink Boys number 4 from our friends at Ramia Broadcasting. Join Pansy and the gang for crafts, stories, and lots of fun Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Next week's program will be followed by assorted entertainment from the Sand and Sea Festival Matthew Visit. Please stay tuned now for Pink Boys number 4 from our friends at Ramia Broadcasting. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.